back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike. I got my line mate Matt with me, and today we're going to go over the Blackhawks' latest win. I love saying that because we're on a winning streak. 2 wins is considered a streak. Hawks play on Friday. That's tomorrow. Can't wait for that one. And we're going to give you some NHL news. So, Matt, I'll tell you what, man. Those first 2 periods against Pittsburgh, I thought were good. I thought they played good hockey. They were physical. Defense was good. And then in the third period, it seems like they kind of let their foot off of the table a little bit. At the end of the second period, it was 2-0. Going into that third period, they gave Pittsburgh enough room to have some life. And Pittsburgh, they brought it in that third period. They tied it up 2-2, went into the overtime. Hawks had their chances in overtime, in the OT. And actually, they also had their chances at the end of the third period with a few power plays and couldn't get the job done. But we won in the shootout, and that's really all that matters, man. We got to win. It'd be nice to finish them off in regular time. But what did you take from that game?
Well, I listened to the last podcast we did, and you said you wanted Seth Jones to shoot more, and he shot, and it was an elite shot over the blocker, I believe.
Right.
And I just thought that was a world-class shot by that guy, and I'm glad he got on the board. Yeah, man, that 2-0 in overtime, I thought that was it with the Cat and Kaner.
Yeah.
I think they maybe did one too many passes and gave the goalie some more time to set. I think it was Jari in net. But, hey, man, it's all about getting the 2, and they got it. So they had a good game, and Coach King is 2-0.
Yes, he is.
I like that. What's the trophy called? The Jack Adams?
Yeah.
He's in the running.
Yeah, could you imagine that? What a complete turnaround. So I thought Juju Kyra, he had a good goal.
That's right.
He had a good goal in that game. Jake McCabe has been noticeable. I would definitely say the past 2 games. It looks like he's playing more of his style. He's been hitting a few guys, hasn't really been jumping up too much. He's not trying to make these, 3-line passes. And I think that's really helping the team.
Yeah, that was a great goal by Kyrou, his first goal. I think it was a nice pass by Taves, actually.
Yeah, it was. Nice turnaround.
For him. Very nice pass by Taves. Taves isn't on the board yet, but he's contributing in other ways. He obviously would like to fix that plus minus. I mean, all of the Hawks I think every single Hawk is a minus, which is kind of sad. Actually, I'm sorry. No, we have one guy that is... Oh, I'm wrong. Everybody's a minus. So we got to fix that. We got to start protecting our goaltenders and play better D. But I did notice that Gustafsson wasn't out as much last game as he was when Colleton was the coach. I think he was averaging 20 or something a game.
Yeah.
And he only got, I want to say 13 minutes last game. So obviously the new coach knows what's going on. You're not going to put that guy out there who causes way too many scoring chances for the other team.
Yeah, actually, I thought I read somewhere that he had 11 minutes, which kind of goes to show you that the writing's kind of on the wall.
Yeah, it's not fitting in King's system. I know it's working out the way that they're playing. We did end up getting outshot in the third by Pittsburgh. I think that we were the better team in the first 2 periods, but they kind of held back a little bit, and you can't do that. You have to go full speed for the whole game and don't let up.
Yeah, I agree. I did notice that it seemed like Gustafsson came out specifically in power play situations or in offensive situations.
Yeah, there's no doubt he's good. He's a good puck mover, and he sees the game better in the offensive zone. But the problem is we need guys that are one-dimensional defensive guys, and he clearly can't do it. But hey, if we could put him on the power play and he's producing, it's worth it, I guess. But if he's going to be out there for 20 minutes a game like Seth Jones and Connor Murphy type of minutes, it's not going to be good because we're gonna give up too many scoring chances for the opponents.
You know what? I don't see a reason why we don't give him a shot at right wing.
Yeah, or trade him to the Sharks and have Carlson and Gustafsson play on the wings.
Yeah, they might put up 130 points, dude.
Yeah, but they'll be minus 1,000.
Fleury looked pretty good in net. I think that he's,
He needed it, man.
Like I mentioned before, I think the better team he has in front of him, the more he can shut out a team. I don't think he's the type of guy who could stand on his head for a bad team, but he definitely played. I thought he played well. It seemed like he saw the puck better as well during the last game, and I just kind of want him to get settled in. I don't know if it's going to turn into a, Fleury's getting a majority of the starts and then we go with Lankinen because, Lankinen's, I think he's been pretty good this season so far. Maybe they swap him. I don't know, but
yeah, I would keep doing that. I would just if the guy loses, put the next guy in and just kind of keep the hot guy in, and if once he loses, just switch him up.
Yeah,
got nothing to lose right now.
Yeah, I agree. Moving forward, what do you see? Do you think that the power play and the PK will continue to get better?
I think our power play isn't bad. I know you have to score in the end, but I like what I see with the puck moving. I know they're trying to hit DeBrincat on that side so he could fire it in. But, the puck possession has been good. I think Seth Jones is a big part of that, too. He's very good with the puck. I'm not saying he's like Patrick Kane with the puck, but he's pretty good for a defensive guy. And I think the goaltending has to get better for the penalty kill to get better. I think Fleury, he's good. I know the team's not that great, but did you notice on the tying goal? I think Carter scored. He did the 2-pad stack save.
Yeah.
And he kicked the net off, and it still went in. And I'm as a goalie, like, what is this, 1980? Who does that anymore? Like,
yeah.
he's an NHL elite goalie. He should be able to push off and still be in his butterfly position. So I just wish that we should have, like you said, we should have won in the third period. But it's still, we got to stop these softy goals, and I think we'll be a better team.
Yeah, I did notice that. And more specifically, when they kind of zoomed in on the play, as his pad came over, like his foot came up like a scotch. Yeah. Like very little
reaction.
And that's where the puck went. I think if he wouldn't have hit the post and just slid over, I think that wouldn't have been a goal.
Well, if he knocked the net off first,
right,
and then Carter scored, yes,
because he was kind of knocking the net off, and then his leg was coming up, and then
it would have been a penalty.
Right.
Yeah, it would have been a penalty on Fleury for delay a game or something. But
right.
He scored first, and then the net came off. I don't know why Hawks fans were complaining about that. That was just a bad goal. Fleury wanted to have back, I think.
Yeah, he did.
But hey. Did you notice DeHaan? He had a great game, man. He
did.
I think he had like 7+ block shots, big key opportunity shots too.
He was, man.
That helps goaltenders, man. That they notice that. They really appreciate that. I remember we always talk about Hammer. But can you think about how many goals he probably prevented just by being a warrior like that? It's amazing.
Or just game saved, just playing like that.
Yeah, he created wins that way, man.
In all honesty, I thought that DeHaan for the first time all year belonged on the ice the other day. Watching him, he looked like a completely different guy out there. And I think, Derek King is talking to players, trying to get them in their comfort zone and maybe telling guys, hey, listen, I want you to play how you want to play hockey. And if you really think about it, that's actually a superb tactical move because he needs to get eyes on to see exactly what he has. It's like, I don't want you to play like this. I want to see what you're good at, what you can do. And then I'm going to move people around and I'm going to play to their strengths. Because doesn't that work, Matt? Don't you think that
find your role? Yeah. I think DeHaan's found his role, meaning like, hey, if I want to play in this team, I have to block shots and I have to take care of my own end. And maybe make an occasional pass to the wingers to break the puck out and, maybe get it done that way. But they're not expecting me to score goals like Seth Jones and get maybe 50 assists a year. I don't need that. I just need to do my job and stay in my zone and make sure that, I'm not turning the puck over in my own zone and stuff like that. And then I'm succeeding in my role.
to circle back to special teams, something that I would like to see on the power play is less of this pass it to DeBrincat to score, because it's obvious, man.
Yeah.
Teams are scheming against that. They're letting them pretty much pass it on the perimeter, and then they're doubling down on DeBrincat. And yeah, DeBrincat can get a lot on it, man, and he's really, really good at it. But the problem is that you've got Kane on the other end trying to fire this puck at 200 miles an hour so that DeBrincat could fire it in. And sometimes DeBrincat's whiffing on it, and I think that's a problem. It's a problem because Kaner's trying to he's trying to make up for the fact that everybody's expecting it. And I think that's a problem. What we should do is, leave it as something that we can use, but just pass it to the point, man, and let Seth Jones just fire it in. Just let him fire it up. Let it cause chaos in front, and then have a couple guys in front just converge on the net and try and hammer it home. I don't see a problem with that. I mean, he's not getting his big contract money yet, but he can fire it, and I'd really like to see that. Let him fire it. Let Gus fire it, because he can shoot. McCabe doesn't have a bad shot. He can fire it. Just get that puck on net and converge and bang in those rebounds.
Yeah, old school, man. Get it to the point. Get in front of the net. Get ready for a rebound. And if there's too much traffic, keep moving it until you find an open lane. Let Kaner do his thing. Let him dance. And if he's got nothing on his side, throw it to the point. Try DeBrincat. Let him do a little magic and see if he's gonna get it over to Kane. If not, get it back to the point. Fire it. We know what Seth Jones could do. That shot was elite, man.
Oh yeah,
that was a great shot. I think it was a wrister too.
It was.
I like to see him take just a bomb.
Yeah.
And just have a guy in front ready for a rebound. Just old school. It's just old school hockey right there.
Yeah, I want to see him take bombs too. I don't see why not. That was just a great goal that he scored. That was actually a goal scorer's goal. What he scored, because he just looked at it and he was like, "I'm going top right shelf there." Boom.
Yep.
Went right in there.
Get a body in front of the goalie's eyes and shoot it.
Honestly, even if Jari saw the shot, I don't even think he would have stopped it.
No. It was just like DeBrincat's shootout goal, just bar down. You're not going to stop that. That thing was... These guys are just elite.
It was like
they
head
aim
level.
for it. They aim for that spot. They work on that in practice. And
when I play with my kid, I aim for that spot too.
If you were shooting like that, you would not be talking to me right now.
Yeah. Well, it's different when I'm playing against, a 7-year-old than I am, like real competition. But yeah, I'm really happy with the direction of the team. It looks like the team has done a 180. Every guy on the ice is looking good. I'm really excited to get Kalynuk and Caleb Jones back, man. I really would like to see Caleb Jones get situated and going, because I thought he looked really good in the preseason. I thought that he deserved a spot on the team. I thought that Kalynuk looked really good, and I'm really looking forward to seeing those guys in action. I know they're getting close, but we'll have to see, man. What do you got going on with some NHL news?
Well, I think the Ottawa Senators are having a really big COVID issue. They're missing, I think 8 to 10 guys.
Brutal.
Which sucks, yeah. So hopefully those guys get better and back out. Got some other news. I've been hearing Tuukka Rask has been skating in the Bruins practice facility. I know he doesn't have a contract, but he said, "Hey, when I'm ready to go, I'll be cheap if you want to sign me." I mean, I think the Bruins need some help goal scoring, but if you could get a goalie like Rask, that'll also help your goal scoring, because you don't have to worry about, if you could score a couple goals a game and you got Rask back there, that's good enough too sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. Tuukka Rask has been a solid goalie his entire career. I think that players in general, especially as they get older, they might be able to extend their careers if they just get some time off, man. Because let's say the season ends in April, all right? So it ends in April. You get until about June, and then you're training again, for the next season. I think that as these guys get older, they need more time off to, I don't know, man, to just go and sit in the beach and relax. I mean, look at what's going on with Carey Price. He was having substance abuse issues. If the guy could, just take some time to get away, completely unplug from the game and relax, spend some time with his family, put his toes in the sand and let go without the stress of having to, to get back to this, unbelievable state of play. It would really help, because we might be getting to a how do you say, a limit with maybe between age and human performance. And what I mean by that is, say back in the 90s, guys the season would end, they'd, have a summer of barbecues, drinking beer, hanging out at the lake. And then, a few weeks before camp starts, guys will start skating again, at that point. And then nowadays, guys they're managing their calorie intake. They're managing the food that they're eating. They're managing their sleep. They're managing the supplements that they use to train and when they play. Nathan MacKinnon's an example of that. He's very strict with his entire team that they're not going to eat any pasta. You have guys that are working out. They're on specific workouts to target agility, to target power, to target strength, to target speed. And I would probably say we're hitting peak human performance with hockey players today. Just look at the amount of guys, we'll say Brandon Hagel's fast, but, take a look at this at the league. Who was really slow? No, this isn't like the old days where you had guys like Tony Amani and Mike Modano who were just blazing down the ice, and then you had other guys on the back end of that. Chris Chelios was never a fast skater. Brad May was never a fast skater, and there was a very big drop off in talent regarding speed. Nowadays, everybody's fast. Every single player is fast. If one player gets a step on you, you're done. And not to mention if you've got natural God-given ability like Connor McDavid or Barzal. And I think that players these days, they're just pushing their bodies so much just so that they could be in peak performance to be the best player that they can, that it's at a point where mentally they're lacking, and mentally it's draining on them. So they're getting to a point in their careers where they're having mental health issues because they're not taking care of themselves mentally like they should be, like they should be doing, kind of like normal people do. What do you think?
Well, yeah, it's like if you slow down, there's somebody in the minors that's ready to go that'll take your spot in a second. So these guys feel like, hey, I have to be, if I want my job for the next, 15 to some guys play 20 years, but they have to be in perfect shape. And MacKinnon, like you said, he's kind of like, they're calling him kind of crazy out there because he watches his diet and stuff, but the guy wants to win, and the guy he brings it. But like you said with Carey Price, he had a long grind, man, and this 2-year COVID thing, it probably didn't help. He had to be isolated from his teammates, his family. Then he makes it to the Stanley Cup final and loses, and it's got to be tough on you. And when you're the number one goalie there, they're already relying on him too much in Montreal. So, yeah, man, it's people got to take care of themselves, and it's good to see that Tuukka Rask took his time too, because he said, "Hey, I need to rest and I need to get right and get my body back in," and now he's ready to go. He looks like he's energized and ready. So I'm curious to see what the Bruins are going to do, because they're going to have 3 goalies then that are pretty close to a number, like a 1A, 1B, and maybe a 1C even. But we'll see. Really
interesting. It's kind of like, obviously these guys, they want to play well, and the owners want to put the best, well, in most cases, I should say most organizations want to put the best product that they can out onto the ice, that it's leading to, it's leading to problems with players. And yeah, there are guys in the minors. And, it's really unfortunate that, maybe some careers just won't last as long because, guys just can't handle it.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's these guys are, they're, like you said, they're training all summer. They're ready to go. They want to be ready in the fall when hockey starts in early October, mid-October, whatever it is. And then, hey, you make the Stanley Cup playoffs, you got another grind. You make it to the final, it's almost like another season.
It is. It's almost like a season and a half.
It just kills you. And then you get the little summertime off and you're exhausted and it's like, hey, I got to go back out. Maybe you'll take a week or two off, but most of those guys are just getting ready to go. They don't want to lose it.
Can you quickly go over the Bob Murray situation in Anaheim?
Well, I don't know much about it. I know that he had some issues with some people in the front office, and I guess it's been going on since 2008. And he did enroll into the alcohol abuse program, so everybody knows somebody that, drinks a little alcohol and they get a little weird and they get mean, and in this case it's what it sounds like, and people got fed up with it and he stepped down. Yeah,
it's not like he was beating the shit out of people, and I'm glad that he's seeking help, and what he should understand is probably I don't want to say a fault of his, but just a problem that he has. There's nothing wrong with drinking alcohol. Obviously, do all in moderation, because anything you do more, it leads to problems. I'm glad that he's doing the right thing, but it seems like with the whole Blackhawk situation, like guys are just on notice now, and especially with the way people are treating people. Actually, even beforehand, I think that it started, especially when Mark Crawford was investigated. A lot of people were talking about how Mike Babcock would verbally abuse players, and it makes you question, what exactly is verbal abuse, because I think in the sporting world things are, you have a bunch of alpha males together and things are really amped up. And it's not necessarily the kind of environment for the timid or the weak, if you know what I mean. And
I've been verbally abused a lot in my day then. Jeez, like I couldn't stop a beach ball one night. My coach would let me know. I mean, I'm not going to tell the guy that he should get fired or anything over it, but that's just that's just how it is in the sports world. I'm not saying what Babcock did was right, but I think what Babcock did was kind of corner Marner into a spot saying, hey, who do you think needs to work harder? And that's not his job. It's not Marner's job to do that. It's the coach's job in the front office. So I think that's what got him in trouble.
It did, because number one, I think that's bullshit. To come to a player and not your captain and do something like that. And then after that, out the guy. Do you know what I mean? If I was in that locker room and the head coach came in and said, hey, these are the guys who have to work hard because, they're dog shit. And by the way, this isn't even my opinion. This is what Mitch Marner thinks. You might get your ass kicked, man. At least back in my day, I would think that you would.
You're going to lose trust with your teammates. Like, what are you going to the coach for, dude? And it's like, hey, he came to me. He asked me what's going on. And that wasn't right at all. There's been a lot of incidents. And Bob Murray, and maybe if this Hawks thing didn't happen, maybe he would kind of take a little leave of absence, maybe. But now their teams don't want a bad rep now, and they're just telling him, hey, you got to go. We don't want any of this negative press.
I forgot to mention earlier that Nathan McKinnon is out for 3 weeks with a lower body injury.
Oof, that's got to hurt. He is having a rough start, man.
He is. You know what? Looks like obviously Calgary, I think, is having a pretty good start to their season, really good start to their season, because a lot of people weren't, I wasn't expecting much out of them, and they're playing pretty well. And then you got Colorado on the other hand, who everybody thought was just destined to win the Stanley Cup this year. I didn't pick them. and they're having a rough start to the season. A little adversity I think is good for the team, but with McKinnon, the leader, essentially going down. I mean, obviously he's not the captain, but I would definitely say that this guy is the leader of this team, trying to lead them to a Stanley Cup. I can't say the same thing about their captain, Gabriel Landeskog. I've never been able to say that about him, but I think that McKinnon's the leader of this team, and this is really going to hurt them big time.
Yep, 3 weeks. He missed 2 games with, I think he got COVID, and he had to sit out a week. And actually, it was against us the first game. We didn't even get to see McKinnon.
Right.
And
we still got.
He's only got 1 goal, man. He's only got 1 goal this year, which is not what you want to see from your best player.
No, it's not. It's not. I believe LA is on a 6-game winning streak. What about Anaheim? Isn't Anaheim on a winning streak as well?
Anaheim has this player, I think Troy Terry. He is on a 13-game point streak.
Wow.
And he is just tearing it up. Ryan Getzlaf's playing with him, and Getzlaf's looking like old school Getzlaf, throwing some nice passes to him. And guy just continues to play well on a team that, you don't expect much from.
Well, hey, man, it's really great how things are shaping up in the league. I think it's just really interesting. It's really nice to see, some changes. It's not the predictable, teams being at the top. There's the top teams are having issues. Some bottom teams are taking advantage of that and winning some games, and it's great. I want to thank everybody for listening. Me and Matt are incredibly appreciative for it. We're really appreciative of the support that everybody has been giving us. And do us a favor, hit subscribe if you haven't, so you don't miss out on any future episodes. We drop our episodes every Tuesday morning and Friday morning. So, so you have something to do during the weekend, and you got something to listen to during your commute during the week. But give us a follow on Twitter if you haven't already. And once again, thank you for listening. This is the Tomahawk, and we're out of here.